everyone, welcome to day 9 of Vegan November, and so here's what I had to eat yesterday. For breakfast I made some banana and oat waffles. I first preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius and then I broke up one banana into a bowl, then I mashed that up until it was smooth with a fork. I then added in half a cup of oat flour, half a cup of almond milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I gave that a good mix together and then I poured that into this silicone waffle mould which makes 4 waffles. I smoothed that over and then I placed it on a lined baking shelf in case any leaked out, and I placed that in the oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes I removed it from the oven, flipped the mould over to then press out the waffles, and then I just placed them back in for another 10 minutes to get a little more colour on them. I then placed those on a plate, topped them with some raspberries, a drizzle of maple syrup and some fresh mint. This is quite similar to my banana and oat pancake recipe. I'll have the recipe for that down below. I make my own oat flour and I always find it to be a little bit more grainy than shop bought oat flour, which would probably make these even smoother. But because of the oats and the banana, I find these so filling and they kept me going all morning. You can add whatever you like on top, chocolate sauce, other berries, nuts, and I also love making savoury potato waffles with these as well. It's not as quick and easy as a waffle machine, but it's a good alternative if you don't want to invest in one. For a morning snack I made some sun-dried tomatoes stuffed with Harissa hummus. For this I just added 1 cup of chickpeas into my food processor with 1/3 of a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of tahini, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of roast harissa paste, and I seasoned it with salt and black pepper. I then blended everything up until it was nice and smooth. I then placed 5 sun-dried tomatoes out on a plate. I laid some basil leaves on top of those and then I scooped on some of the hummus and finished each one with some sliced green olives. These make for such delicious snacks. I love making hummus in all sorts of different flavours just to switch it up each time. This harissa one is so flavourful and spicy too, and you could use regular harissa for this. Such a quick and easy versatile snack, and I find that this amount will keep me going for a good few days if kept in a glass jar or airtight container in the fridge. For lunch I made a plate of Thai nachos. For this I sliced up 1 green onion, set that to the side, and then I made a garlic avenaise by scooping out 1 avocado into my food processor. I added in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and I minced in 2 cloves of garlic. I blended that up until it was smooth, and then I took a bag of these R.W. Garcia organic Thai flaxseed tortilla chips. I tipped half of the bag out onto a plate, trust me I could have eaten the whole bag, and then I added on the garlic avenaise, some red chili flakes, the chopped spring onion. I also had some red kidney beans in the fridge, so I added those on too, and finally some fresh coriander. It's not the healthiest of lunches, I know, it's more of a snack, but sometimes a snacky lunch is the best kind of lunch, and nachos are honestly one of my weaknesses. These Thai chips are amazing, the flavour of them is so good, and as I said, they're made with flaxseed and Thai herbs and spices. I actually used the blue corn chips from this same brand to make loaded nachos with cheese sauce and the full works, so I will link to that recipe below if you haven't yet seen it. For an afternoon snack I made some toasted curried almonds. For this I just added a handful of peeled almonds, though you could use any nuts for this, to a pan with a drop of olive oil. I kept shuffling them, and then once they began to toast I then added in 1 teaspoon of curry powder and then half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I just kept the pan shuffling to keep them toasting and also to cover all of the nuts in the spices, and then once they were done I just served them up in a dish. Like I've said before, this is a snack I like to make with roasted chickpeas or with cashew nuts, and I'm always coming up with different combinations in terms of spices each time. I love anything curry flavoured though, so these are one of my favourites, but I will link to some past recipes that I've done using different flavourings. For dinner I made some Cajun bean burgers with paprika skin-on wedges. I first made the wedges by slicing up 5 small potatoes. I then placed those on a lined baking tray, drizzled over 1 teaspoon of olive oil, added on 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and I seasoned them with salt and black pepper. I gave that a good mix together, and then I placed those in the oven on 180 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. I then made the burgers by first blending up half a cup of oats into a flour. I then added in 1 400-gram tin of mixed beans, half a cup of sweet corn, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of onion flakes, 1 tablespoon of Cajun spice mix, 1 teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and some salt and black pepper, and I just pulsed everything in my food processor to mix it all together. Then divided the mix up into 4 and formed even sized burger shapes out of them with my hands. I then placed those on a lined baking shelf and in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Once they were done, I served them up into iceberg lettuce leaf wraps, and we had 2 each. I topped mine with some homemade ketchup, some slices of tomato, red onion and pickles, and then I removed the wedges from the oven and placed those on the side. These are very similar to my 3 bean burgers, but they obviously have the Cajun flavour to them, which makes them a little bit different, and I love to have them in these lettuce wraps. You can literally just fold the ends over, wrap it up, and you have yourself a healthier burger. But I also eat these in burger buns too. I just find that I can manage 2 burgers with the lettuce leaf wraps. And also smoked paprika wedges are my new favourite thing to make. I just love the flavour of them. For dessert, I made some warm chocolate hazelnut milk. For this, I just first heated up 1 cup of almond milk in a pan on a low heat and stirred it until it warmed up. I then added in 3 tablespoons of raw cacao powder, 1 tablespoon of hazelnut butter, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and I just continued to stir it well. I then poured that out into a cup, and that was that. This may seem like it's going to be really strange because the hazelnut butter isn't smooth as such, but it actually goes really soft in the warm milk and makes it really thick, so it's like a drinkable dessert. And with each sip you almost get these little pieces of chewy soft hazelnut, but if you don't fancy that, you could always just skip the hazelnut butter and use hazelnut milk instead of almond milk. And that is it for another Vegan November video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, all of the recipes are written in the description box below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in a few days for the next one. Bye!